Deep in the heart of China, there's a place untouched, untamed. This is Qinghai Hoh Xil, a high-altitude wilderness like no other. Imagine a vast expanse of mountains, plains, and icy glaciers. This is a place of extremes. Temperatures plunge below freezing. The air is thin, making every breath a challenge. But for the hardy creatures that call it home, Hoh Xil is a paradise. This isn't just any wilderness. In 2017, Hoh Xil earned its place as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This means it's recognized for its outstanding natural beauty and importance to the planet. Hoh Xil is a crucial part of the larger Tibetan Plateau. This region is often called the roof of the world. It's the highest and largest plateau on Earth, playing a vital role in global weather patterns. Hoh Xil is a sanctuary for some of the world's most endangered and unique species. It's a reminder that even in the 21st century, wild places still exist. But these places are under threat. Climate change, poaching, and human activity cast a shadow over Hoh Xil's future. Understanding this remarkable place is the first step in ensuring its survival. Hoh Xil sits at an average elevation of over 4,800 meters, or 15,700 feet. That's higher than many mountain peaks in the world. The landscape is dominated by a vast alpine meadow known as the grassland. Imagine a sea of green and gold stretching as far as the eye can see. But don't let the beauty fool you. This is a harsh environment. Winters are brutally cold, with temperatures plummeting to -40 degrees Celsius or -40 degrees Fahrenheit, or even lower. Summers are short and cool, with unpredictable weather. The air is thin, carrying less oxygen. This makes it difficult for humans to acclimatize. But for the animals that have adapted over millennia, Hoh Xil is home. The ground is often frozen, with permafrost lurking beneath the surface. Rivers and lakes, fed by melting glaciers and snow, crisscross the landscape. These water sources are vital for the survival of Hoh Xil's wildlife. Despite the challenges, life flourishes in this extreme environment. It's a testament to the power of nature to adapt and thrive. Only the toughest can survive in Hoh Xil's extreme environment. Plants here have adapted to the cold, the wind, and the lack of oxygen. They grow low to the ground, hugging the warmth of the earth. Their roots are shallow, clinging to the thin layer of soil above the permafrost. Many plants have developed special adaptations to conserve water in this arid region. They might have waxy leaves or hairy stems to trap moisture. These plants provide essential food and shelter for the animals that share this harsh environment. Animals have also evolved to survive. The Tibetan antelope, for example, has a thick coat of fur to insulate against the cold. Its large lungs help it to breathe the thin air. The wild yak, another iconic resident, has a massive body and a thick coat to withstand the harsh winters. These adaptations are not just fascinating, they're essential for survival in one of the most extreme environments on the planet. Hoh Xil is a haven for wildlife. It's home to over 230 species of animals, many of which are found nowhere else on Earth. The Tibetan antelope, or chiru, is perhaps the most iconic. These graceful creatures are known for their long, elegant horns and their ability to survive in the high altitudes. Once hunted to near extinction for their wool, chiru populations are slowly recovering thanks to conservation efforts. The wild yak, another symbol of the Tibetan Plateau, roams the grasslands in large herds. These massive creatures are well suited to the harsh conditions, with their thick fur and strong bodies. Hoh Xil is also home to the Tibetan wild donkey, the Tibetan gazelle, and the elusive snow leopard. Bird life is equally diverse, with species like the bar-headed goose, the black-necked crane, and the Tibetan snowcock gracing the skies. These animals are all part of a delicate ecosystem that has evolved over millions of years. Section 5. The Tibetan Connection. A sacred landscape. For centuries, the Tibetan people have lived in harmony with the harsh yet beautiful landscape of Hoh Xil. They revere it as a sacred place, home to protective deities and spirits. Traditional beliefs emphasize respect for nature and all forms of life. This deep connection is reflected in their sustainable practices. Tibetan nomads have long grazed their livestock on the grasslands of Hoh Xil, moving with the seasons to allow the land to regenerate. This sustainable way of life is increasingly under pressure from modernization and climate change. However, the cultural connection between the Tibetan people and Hoh Xil remains strong. Their traditional knowledge and practices are invaluable for conservation efforts. Understanding the cultural significance of Hoh Xil is essential to developing effective conservation strategies that respect both the environment and the people who have lived in harmony with it for generations. Section 6. The Silk Road's Shadow. Echoes of ancient trade. Hoh Xil might seem remote and isolated, but it played a role in one of history's most famous trade routes, the Silk Road. While the main routes didn't cut directly through Hoh Xil, its edges were influenced by the flow of goods and people. Traders and explorers ventured near its borders, bringing with them new goods and ideas. The echoes of this ancient trade can still be felt today. Archaeological evidence suggests that Hoh Xil was a source of valuable commodities like salt, wool, and medicinal herbs. These goods were likely traded with travelers passing through the region, connecting Hoh Xil to the wider world. The Silk Road's legacy serves as a reminder that even the most remote corners of the world have a story to tell. Hoh Xil's history is interwoven with the rise and fall of empires, the movement of people, and the exchange of cultures. Section 7. The climate clock is ticking. A changing world. Hoh Xil, like many of the world's wild places, is facing an unprecedented threat: climate change. The roof of the world is warming at an alarming rate, faster than the global average. This warming trend has profound implications for the delicate balance of life in Hoh Xil. Glaciers, the lifeblood of Hoh Xil's rivers and lakes, are receding at an alarming rate. This will eventually lead to water shortages, impacting both wildlife and the livelihoods of people who depend on these water sources. Changes in temperature and precipitation patterns disrupt the delicate balance of the ecosystem. These changes affect the timing of plant growth and animal migration, with unpredictable consequences. The thawing permafrost releases methane, a potent greenhouse gas, into the atmosphere, further exacerbating climate change. Section 8. Protecting Paradise. Conservation efforts. The challenges facing Hoh Xil are significant, but there is hope. Recognizing the region's global importance, the Chinese government established the Sanjiangyuan National Nature Reserve in 2000, encompassing Hoh Xil and surrounding areas. This reserve is a crucial step in protecting the biodiversity and ecological integrity of the region. Conservation efforts focus on combating poaching, particularly of the endangered Tibetan antelope. Anti-poaching patrols, often operating in harsh conditions, work tirelessly to protect these vulnerable animals. Community-based conservation programs are also crucial. These initiatives work with local communities to promote sustainable grazing practices, reduce human-wildlife conflict, and raise awareness about the importance of conservation. Section 9. A shared responsibility. Global citizen, global steward. Protecting a place as unique and vital as Hoh Xil is not just the responsibility of one country, it's a global imperative. The impact of climate change transcends national borders, and the loss of biodiversity is a loss for all of humanity. International collaboration is essential to support research, share best practices, and provide funding for conservation efforts. We can all play a role in protecting Hoh Xil, even from afar. Supporting organizations working on the ground, reducing our carbon footprint, and raising awareness about the plight of this fragile ecosystem are all important steps. Section 10. The Call of the Wild. Answer the call to protect. Hoh Xil the untamed beauty stands as a testament to the power of nature. It's a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of life on Earth and the urgent need to protect our planet's wild places. The challenges are real, but so is the commitment to conservation. The fate of Hoh Xil hangs in the balance. It's up to us, as global citizens, to heed the call of the wild and work together to ensure its survival for generations to come. Let's not let this wilderness disappear. Let's choose to protect it, to learn from it, and to be inspired by its untamed beauty. The time to act is now.